is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wednesday live stream with Reefing with O. Hey, doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Wonderful, thank you. Hey, what's going on, Phil? So, hopefully everyone has a wonderful Christmas / New Year's. I know it's been a week or two, but Wednesdays have fallen on holidays and family stuff, so it's good to be back with all you lovely people again. 2025 live stream. All right, Reef Theory.
I know, right? Good to be back.
How was your holidays?
It was good.
Yeah.
Didn't do much. Relax.
Nice.
Fish gave me some trouble, but
Happens. Do you want to share or not share?
I had a powder blue tank, and I'm not taking responsibility for this one. This is my wife's, because she bought it at the LFS. So something happened, and he just went mental. Killed my koi tang, which is the black Scopus tang with the different colors on him, and my Achilles tang. So,
Dang.
yeah, tang police. I shouldn't have had those tang. Yeah, but he just went ham.
That sucks. Do you still have him in there?
No, I took him out. It was quite a lot of effort to take him out. I ended up breaking rock. Like most of the rock I took out to take him out, I didn't even put it back in. No, no, you could not catch him. Oh, I broke everything. The only thing that didn't break off was the green slimer that you see right in the middle that is really hard to miss. But pretty much everything else I broke off the rock, which I took because I've been battling flatworms. I took the opportunity to mount them on like the ceramic things to make them easy to take out and dip. So I guess it was a good thing.
It's a semi-good thing at the end of the day. Yep. What's going on? Yeah, why Kmart, Phil? Sorry, Phil. Son got a one wheel and broke his elbow.
Damn.
Dang, that sucks. That's no fun. One wheels are tons of fun. Breaking something's no good though. No bueno.
What's a one wheel?
It is an electric skateboard with basically a big go-kart tire in the center.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you have one of those, don't you?
Yeah, they're awesome. It's like summer snowboarding. Tons of fun.
Oh, that thing. We see them all the time with the big single wheel in the middle and you're balancing. Oh.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh.
I know. So, I guess today's stream's about gear.
What did you buy first before we get into it? What did you buy for Christmas?
Myself?
Did you get any gearing thing? Did you get any gear thing for Christmas?
No, I didn't really buy any reef gear. I more just bought some coral.
So, man, I have one of these.
Ooh.
It's a good thing Phil is here, Reef Keeper's here, because I did ask his opinion before I took the plunge and bought one. But man, these things were on sale for $300. So
if I was in the US, I would have bought one too.
So I got two now. So I'm gonna put one on my kid's nano tank, but the first one is operating flawlessly, and man, $300.
That's solid.
And it does doses too. It has a built-in auto dose. Yeah.
So that's up there on your gear list for the year for new stuff.
Well, it's an opportunity. It wasn't planned. It was an opportunity. I was probably it was an opportunity. I took advantage of an opportunity. So it wasn't a planned purchase. It was the
sale was good. How could you not?
What do you call it? A impulse purchase.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I would buy one if I knew I didn't have to pay the extra like shipping and customs and all that. That'd like up the price. I'd probably be all over one too.
We could drive across.
Yeah.
California, Reefapalooza, California. You just come across and pick it up.
You're not wrong. So auto testers. Serious. It's true. A bit of a drive. I'd probably fly. Auto tester front. I guess on my side, that's your new toy. I got the Alcatronic Pro. Would be like a 2024 one.
That's on my list of products for 2024, like new products. I have the Alcatronic Pro. How is that?
It's been solid so far. I mean, it's been basically, I haven't done anything to it since I originally set it up, other than like the odd calibration. My only complaint is I wish that it still had the BNC port to pipe it into the Apex.
It doesn't.
No, because they added a temperature sensor and stuff onto the BNC port. So you get more data directly on the Alcatronic, but you can't pipe it in. So it's a better standalone unit. but you do lose that one B and C by it. So that's the trade-off with it.
Now, I know for the I know for the hydros, they do have a like an API.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's something that Neptune can probably. I wonder, Neptune has its own standard called IOTA,
Mm-hmm.
but I wonder if that's a standard. I gotta be honest. That's with the refactory stuff being on sale. That's one of the only reasons I haven't jumped on some of the refactory stuff. Is it's it works in its own ecosystem. It doesn't play
Mm-hmm.
well with others.
Yeah. Now, the Hydros, I believe, at least they had an API to pull in all the
Yeah,
Alcatronic and Mastertronic stuff before. So I'm assuming the Pro will work.
it
I mean,
still
I haven't
works.
personally
Yeah,
tested it, but I'm assuming it does. Yep.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but so far you like it.
Yeah. No, it's been solid.
What's the big difference between it and the original Electronic?
You have more control over when and frequency of testing. It's quieter. I believe it's more precise. Like you get more digits. Not that that matters too much. It has temperature and some other stuff in as well.
Yeah. So the one thing, the biggest difference that I noticed between the Cage Care, because it's my second, is the actual pump that does the reagent in the original Alcatronic. That was the loudest pump for me
Mm-hmm.
because it was dosing small amounts of reagent and you would hear it turn every time.
Yeah.
But with the, I don't hear that one on the Cage Care. So I know,
Yeah,
I
they
know.
they upgraded more of the pumps too on the Pro one. So it's like little things like that, right?
Yep,
Yep. And then like
yep.
like pH, temperature, alkalinity, obviously. But yeah,
All right.
hey Josh.
I don't know if I'll take the plunge and do it because I think I'm all tapped out with out testers, but that is one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, man.
All right. What else do you have on your list?
Since I'm staring at it right now, my other like I guess new toy of the year, or something that's kind of cool, is the Vast Plank feeder.
Okay.
It's dead quiet, and it has like an auger inside, so you can have different particle size of food, and it mixes it up and kind of like tumbles it out. Super cool feeder. Like it's kind of like it's a big chunky guy. This is on there, but I have it just kind of tucked in the corner, and it drops food in this little pump that mixes it, so it doesn't just go down the overflow. I don't know. Like it's a pretty cool feeder. I got it when it was on sale earlier in the year, and I've been pretty happy with it. I just saw it
So I
feed the
don't
tank, so it made me think of it. But
I don't think that's one that released in 2024, but
well, there was a
what
new
I've heard.
revision of it. There's like the version
Ah,
3 or something. I don't know what the prior version is. I don't know the difference. I'm assuming it's new because it was a new version, but
all right. But fair enough.
yeah.
Keeping on the feed front, um I like the AF4 frozen feeder, and
Have
that's
you
on my list.
tried it or seen it in person?
I've saw it in person at Reefapalooza,
Mm-hmm.
California last year, but I know a couple of people that have it,
Yeah.
including Dupree has it, and West Coast has it. And West Coast recently went on vacation and had to use it, and he likes it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's
So you,
super cool, but I haven't actually seen them in the wild.
ah,
So
it's not. I don't know if I would use it. I think it'd be a novelty item for me
mm-hmm.
unless I have fish. But I don't know how would I use it. But I think it's cool, and it's something we've always, you know. Imagine if you have sensitive things and you want to do Fido, and you could put a week's worth of Fido in it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I I think it's intriguing to me, very intriguing.
Well, I mean, I primarily feed my tank frozen, so if I could go away and still feed frozen, that's handy. I mean, but I've I've done ghetto DIY solutions where you took like a Versa and a mini fridge and drilled a hole through it and basically just put your half frozen food sucked out of there and stuff. There's also companies like Nios and stuff that make kind of a preserved food or where you could just use out the dose or two. So I mean, there is options,
Okay,
but that it is a cool product though. I do like that idea of like the frozen food feeder.
I like Like. Your turn or my turn?
Yours.
All right. So I think this is my favorite product of the year, and I didn't know I would like it as much. And this is the Trident NP. This is another one I think I crapped on or poo pooed on when it first came out,
Hmm.
and I got one. And I have to say, um, it's been really helpful. Um, I like it. They say it's like the other Trident, but I think it's given me less trouble. I do like the drip tray. I wish they released that for the regular Trident.
Pretty sure you
Um,
can buy them.
yeah, I've heard you can get your hands on them. My one, listen, I think this thing would get like 4.9 stars. Two, reagent shortage, where I went and I ordered from everyone. Funny enough, I went and I ordered from a bunch of places. None of them had it in stock. And I got notified from everyone this week that they are shipping my product. Saltwater aquarium, marine and reef. Like everybody I ordered and said, sorry, it's on back order. They offered to give me my money back, but I said, no, keep it, ship it when you have it. So um
Wait, what did you buy?
the reagents. The
Ah, okay.
reagents have been really hard to get. But when the Trident was first released, like the reagents were hard to get then. So it's the reagents are hard to
The
get.
same thing.
Um, so that's the thing. And then my second thing is the expense of the reagent. And I think because it's a new product, maybe if there's a backlog and they can't handle a backlog, I don't expect them to make if they cannot supply 2 month reagent, then I don't expect someone to supply 6 month, right? You need to
Hmm.
kind of get that backlog out. So, but a buck a day to test nitrate and phosphate, I think that's expensive. So I hope the price comes down. If it
Yeah.
comes down to about 50 cents, I think that's good to me. I think when you're looking at like the regular Trident, yeah, so about 50 cents a test, but a buck a test is really expensive.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's a super cool product. It's made me realize like my nutrients are way too high and I need to get them down, and it's made me give my tank more love, which is probably better for my tank overall. But I do agree the reagent's a little on the pricey side, so it's a trade off. But I do think it does give you valuable data.
Yeah.
And
Auto tester. I think these nutrient testers I'm a fan of. Um, I think there's others ones where you can get more value.
well, I think a lot more of the value is for the like it just tells me I need to be better and do more water changes and lower my nutrients. But I feel like it's a lot more beneficial to the people who are actually dosing nitrate and phosphates to keep it up. Because some people how they can't keep nutrients in their tank, and you're constantly dosing it. And I think that has a lot more benefit on there, especially if you're, people growing coral and that type of stuff. And, if you're dumping that stuff in your tank, you need to make sure you're not going too high or too crazy. And
Yeah, I think my nutrients are high now, so I got you.
yeah, it's made me realize that and be better at maintaining my tank a bit. But I,
Yep. Um, I saw there's a question just going to the chat. Someone is asking about natural seawater. Um, it's not something that's really available to us here in New York, in the tri-state area. So it's not something I use at all or even have access to. I wouldn't even know where to get it,
mm-hmm.
honestly. So it's not something I use. What I know, my friend Woody in the UK uses primarily natural seawater because it's really cheap for someone to come and just drop it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, if it was readily available and it was like pre-filtered and I knew it was good, I'd probably use it. But yeah, same thing. I don't have anything here that's close and cheap and readily
Yeah.
available. So some people
Somebody
swear
said,
by synthetic mixed. I mean, it's a little trade-off.
I just use what I can. Josh said, what, the beach is right there. Go wade in Coney Island. No, no, no,
And your
no.
tank crashed.
Have you seen Coney Island? Not too far from Gowanus, which is one of the most polluted um, canals in the country.
Yeah, not so good for the tank. Where do you recommend to place ORP probe when using ozone, before or after the skimmer? All my probes are my return pump chamber in mine, which is a chamber or two away from my skimmer.
Yeah. Josh said it's a super fun site. I was gonna say that, Josh, but I didn't think the people here um, understood it. It's weird. The government comes in and basically cleans up the site and builds the companies that cause the pollution. So that silt, listen, they've been dumping untreated copper, nick, whatever it is, since the turn of the century. So yeah,
Free trace elements.
just get it out of New York Harbor. No, no thanks. I think there's a guy. He has a legendary thread, Paul B. I think he gets copepods and sand from the beach. He's had a reef tank that's been running for 30 years, but he's on Long Island, where I think, the Long Island Sound. I'm not sure, but no.
Do non-photosynthetic coral need deep water? No, they just need lots of food.
Greg, did you see Greg's answer? I keep my ORP in the box so that I get a stable reading.
I mean, hey, at least it's consistent. Yeah.
Someone had a question about your plank. When he programmed it to run for a minute, it runs for 2. Can you post an example of the code you're using?
I can look. I haven't looked at the code since I programmed it, but let me take
Well,
a
I was asking Bonnewell.
Let me log into Fusion. I have not looked at my code since the day I programmed it.
Jack Sparrow's here. This is the time of Captain Jack Sparrow. Can I keep a coral beauty in a BioCube 32 with 2 clownfish and a royal grama? No, no, and no.
You could keep
I
a
don't think
small
you
one.
should. A tiny one, but then, yeah.
Yeah.
Woody, I do the same thing with my trident. Hey, inside joke. Woody, when the trident first came out, he's like, oh, I think I want to get my hands on one. So, being the good friend that I am, I sourced one for my friend and sent it to him in the UK. That thing is still in the plastic shrink wrap, non-opened yet.
Really?
And how long has the trident been out? Like 5 or 6 years?
Well,
those reagents must be rotten by now. He
buy
didn't
new
even
ones.
take off the shrink wrap yet. He still has a trident in the shrink wrap. He's like, oh yeah, I got one of those.
Just for looks. Shelf ornament.
I know.
Oh, so what was the plank question? Just about the programming, or what was it?
Yeah, what was the programming? He said he programmed it to run for a minute, and it's running for 2. Like, any insight you can provide.
Mine is very simple. It's fallback off, set off. If time 10 to 10:01, then on. If time 1700 to 17:01, then on. So it feeds twice a day.
Okay.
That's it. And then my mixing pump, I have fallback off, set off, and if plank feed is on, then on. Defer 30 minutes, then off. So when it starts spinning to feed, it turns on the mixing pump for half an hour. So just make sure it's all saturated and dispersed into there. So super easy.
It's big though. That thing is huge.
Yeah, it is big, but it also means you don't got to refill it for a long time. Trade off. So it really depends, but like on this tank, like against the wall and just having it on the back of the tank, don't mind it.
I don't know if they're joking. So they say, once the coral beauty gets bigger, I should take him out, and 2 clowns and royal grama should be fine. I think so. Yes.
Yes. 2 clowns and a royal grama will be fine.
I think so in a 32. Hey, I have one more sticking with the Neptune systems.
What do you got?
Did the Dose Quiet Drive come out this year?
Yes, I believe so.
I remember using the dose for supplements is not a bad thing because you hear the sound moving, but because you're dosing such small elements.
Mm-hmm.
But once I used the dose for auto water changes, geez, Dev.
No, I wouldn't. Oh. I refused. But yeah, the quiet drive is a bazillion times better.
Gazillion times better.
Yeah. I don't even know if they sell the normal ones anymore, but there's like zero reason to buy a normal one these days if it's still out there, unless it was like almost free.
So, um, Woody said I got his ATI Stratton Pro today. I wonder if it ever make it out of the box. I was helping a friend of mine program ATI Stratton.
Mm-hmm. How'd you like it?
The light, the aesthetics, the light. I'm not someone. The aesthetics of the light.
It's a sexy looking light.
The design of the light, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
For me personally, the balance of the light, it's an LPS tank.
Mm-hmm.
How it looks over the tank, 9 out of 10. I think I would be like, oh, it's too white. But when it looked over the tank, 9 out of 10.
You can adjust it though, right? All the channels.
Yeah, and it was an LPS tank, and whatever the guy had selected one of the preset thing.
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10. Love it. The software, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. We could not. First of all, when you select one of the preset things, it's like, oh, when do your lights come on? And this. Mm-hmm. The lights stayed on till late because we couldn't do it on mobile, Dev, because our fingers, the software gets a 2.5. I'm taking off another. The software gets a 2 out of 10. ATI. You're merging with Nios.
Are they?
Please, yes. Oh, yeah.
I heard something about Nios
yes,
bought out or something happening, but I
really do hope. I think ATI. Hey man, I'm put this is a universal sign for me now. I'm going to talk outside of my area of expertise. Like I'm talking outside. This stuff is, far as I know, man. ATI representation in the U.S. kind of. ATI distribution in the U.S. kind of lacking.
Yeah.
I hope Nios kind of takes over ATI got bought by Nios. I hope Nios takes over the distribution. So everything else with the light.
Nios bought ATI?
Yes.
Crazy. Huh.
You didn't know this?
No. I thought someone bought Nios. I didn't know it was the opposite. Oh, that's cool.
No.
I like the Nios guys. They're good guys.
That's
cool.
Look, feel. The one thing about everything about the aesthetics, he has a long cord.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to mount. The one thing about the aesthetics is at the end of the cord, there is like a box that you plug that looks like to be the Wi-Fi box that has like a Ethernet jack or something on it. So it's not the what do you call it, Meanwell driver. So it looks like adding wireless functionality was like an afterthought. Where really just don't get me started. Yeah, I know. Oh, you have to pay extra for it. Can you believe? And dude, the software sucks. Like it really does. Like it really, really, really. That goes from. You know what we ended up doing? Hey, it's me, and frankly, I think I'm decent with technology, right?
That's fair. We
had to set up the light separate programming and just leave it because we could not get them to sync with each other.
So we had to create and it
wouldn't turn off. We'd set it off and we couldn't get the light to turn off, so we had to get a new point. We had to create a new point. You know when you're creating a point and call it like full off and turn everything off, because when we were doing the schedule and trying to drag around, we could not get the lights to turn off at the designated time. So we had to create new plots. We could not get the lights to sync. Oh man.
Maybe it'll become Mobius compatible one day.
I'm not saying and by the way, the 2 out of 10 for the software shouldn't prevent anyone from getting it, because I think you're just going to be frustrated for 2 hours and then the lights. But my gosh.
But then you never touch it again. You're fine, right? Like just don't mess with it. Get your schedule and then don't mess with it. I think the light looks physically, it looks sexy, but
that's an understatement.
How is the color rendition? How is the?
Oh, I love it. It was over an LPS tank.
Okay.
I thought I would say, oh, it's too white, but I'm telling you, seeing it in person, I don't think it was I didn't hate it.
Nice.
I didn't hate it. I'm gonna show my LFS. This is one of the pictures my LFS did an install. Look how sexy is that.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then I'm gonna show you something else. Um, they created this. They created an entire aesthetic around the room. Look at that. This is, by the
Nice.
way, this is another one on my list. This is the ULTUM tanks. That's the day we installed it. That's the day it was installed.
Nice.
Um, I wish you could see how thin it is over. I know it's really hard for you, and you're seeing the reflection of my whatever's on my screen. But
Happens.
dude,
I know we got a pop up now.
um, can you share? I'm gonna share.
If you send
I
me
don't
the
know.
photo.
Who sent you the photo?
No,
Oh,
I said if you send me the photo, I'm sure I can find a way.
oh, no. I think I got it. I think I can
Okay.
put it in the chat. Nobody can see the picture on your itty bitty man. Forget y'all, man. There's the Instagram link to it.
The thinness of light, less than an iPhone. Yeah, that's pretty thin.
Aesthetics, beautiful. I think I like that light.
Yeah, it's pretty minimalistic.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Reefkeeper said the software has become much better. And by the way, Reefkeeper, we were trying to do this on our phone, and we figured that if you had a laptop, you could. But I make fun of GHL all the time for requiring a laptop to do all these things. So I was
Equal
trying to
rights.
hold myself to the standard that but I'm sure if you were doing it on the laptop and you were using a mouse, it would be easy. But my mind was changed about the Stratton.
Well, it's
Now,
good to know.
I didn't measure par or anything. We'll measure par. I'm not a fan that necessarily believe because the fixture is bigger. Look at that room. Look at that.
It's a nice little
I'm not
viewing spot.
Yeah. I'm not someone that necessarily believes that because the fixture is bigger, the light spread is bigger, but I keep talking about it. But man, loved the ATI Stratton.
Yeah. All right, good to know. I've always
It
thought it
didn't
looks
make my
sexy.
list because
It's
it
nice
wasn't
to know
released
people
this
are here.
year, but it's here. Yep. Yeah. I might want to get my hands on one.
I feel like you should.
If you have any hookups.
I don't, but you should try one. Let me know who it is.
Hey, I see you said you got the Nios guys.
Oh, that's true. Actually, maybe I do have a hookup now.
All right, I'm gonna go on my alternate ego on
Mhm.
Instagram called Reef Shill, and I'm gonna send you a message. Actually, let me do it now, just in case you guys think I'm kidding. I'm actually going to go on Reef Shill right now, and I am going to send a message to Devin ReefDudes.
What are you sending me? You know,
Hey,
speaking of Nios, not that
can
this
you
is new,
help me
but
shill
the Nios tank is
for?
pretty sexy.
You know what? I've only seen them at Reefapaloozas, but they did look nice. That's the one where the edge comes up a little bit and kind of hides the sand line.
Yeah, so the slim line is like the normal tank where it's just flush, and then the pro line has like the chunky border around it. And I did the pro line just to do something different, but I think it's cool. I like it.
All right. It said I have to send you an invite, so when you get a chance, look out for. In case you guys think I'm joking, like I literally did send him a message. So you're going to help a brother out. I sent you a message, so when you get a chance, check it.
Okay, sounds good. David was asking about the Reefbot. So the Reefbot Lab, I think is called, or Pro, or whatever the technical one is. Yeah, so that one was working solid, flawlessly, like it was working very well for me. When I swapped tanks, so I haven't reset it up yet because I don't have the space for it now. The previous tank I had in here was 6.5, 7 feet, so I had tons of space in it. Where this one I swapped to a 4-foot tank, so just don't have the physical real estate right now, so I haven't hooked it back up in the last couple months. But it was working very well up until that point, so I haven't had any issues with it.
The new unit was a little bit on the larger side.
Yeah, my original plan was actually to get a second stand and put it side by side with the tank, and then have that extra like space for random stuff, and just do like a flat counter on top. But I couldn't find a second stand to get just the stand. It was all sets with tanks, so that killed that plan.
Yep.
Yep.
Reefkeeper says he has 2 of them. Love the way they look. Growing acros nicely. The blue pup hits different.
Nice.
Excuse me. So Phil, I might call you and ask you how to sync them. Couldn't get them to sync.
Phil's an expert. Phil has all the gear.
You know what? I actually did call Phil. Like, I didn't make this purchase decision in the dark. I actually did call Phil and said, hey man, like, they got him on sale. What do you think? And he's like, I really like it. Gave me his opinion. And then I called him again. I said, hey, they got a second one. It's like, oh, I think he said, oh, I got 2. So I was like, okay. There you go.
Solid.
Yeah. The GNC Blu-ray. I saw Jake Adams talk about it, but I don't know where I would go to see that.
Oh, it's just like a whole slew of LEDs in the panel.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, Biota is selling the GNC Blu-ray. It's interesting.
Any thoughts on dosing Alpha Reef alongside Calc? I had them along with a calcium reactor all in my tank, dosing everything, and it was fine. I do recall listening to a stream with Chris, I think it was Chris and Reefbot, saying that it would cause precipitation and all this jazz. I didn't experience it, but I was also dosing like 10 different methods at once. So
who says the control is whack? Oh, for the GNC Blu-ray. Yeah, Than's seen it in person, so yeah. For my nano tank, I am gonna probably use Alpha Reef and Calc. I don't know why it would cause precipitation. Why would it?
I don't know. I didn't have any issues. They were hardcore saying that it would, so I don't know.
I wonder if it's one of those things where depends on where you dose it. If you dose both of them in the same area at the same time, yes, it's going to cause precipitation. But Calc causes precipitation a little bit localized where you dose it, right? I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see.
Yeah, it just depends on your levels and making sure none of them are too excessively high.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. What else you got on your list?
Chris, yeah, like I know you're asking earlier about like the Christmas splurges. We have what's called Boxing Day in Canada, which is like the day after Christmas.
I am from Jamaica. I know what Boxing Day is.
All right. So for everyone else, it's like a second mini Black Friday where there's just a bunch of sales on random stuff. So I use that as an excuse to buy some more corals.
Actually, growing up in Jamaica, Black Friday wasn't a big thing. Because Thanksgiving wasn't big. Boxing Day was a big shopping day because you've got everybody else gift. That's the day to go out and shop for yourself.
Yeah, it was only
Boxing Day is a huge holiday. Yeah,
probably the last 5 years that Black Friday became bigger in Canada. Like before then, it wasn't even that really a thing here. So it's kind of grown. So now we've just gained more sale days. So that's okay. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Yep. So just in case I didn't say, one of the other things that I even had on my list was the UNS 90 by ULTUM.
Yes.
And ULTUM does these. I don't think I see anyone else doing what they call mitered edges with their big. I know they've been doing it for years with their small tanks, but they do it with all their tanks.
Nice.
Let me tell you, that tank, everything fits to the millimeter.
Yeah.
It was so let me know if you lose me with this explanation. So, typically with like a Red Sea or a thing, you put in the overflow box, you put it in, you screw 2 things together, and I guess it goes into an O-ring.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, there is an O-ring, but it's just a piece of glass. The shape of the overflow, this is the overflow box.
Yeah.
The pipes are attached to a piece of glass, so you put the pipes in, and then by compression, it seals it. But Devin, it's fits to the millimeter, so you have to fight to get it in. Luckily, the guy who we helped hook up the tank, we were like, man, it's off by a millimeter. He's like, I do jewelry. I deal in millimeters, and he was the one that helped us like get it in. Everything fit to the millimeter. Like
Nice.
even the sump where like it had covers and the pipes are all covered. Like if everything fit in that system to the millimeter, like the covers of like the pipes.
I like it.
When I was looking at it, I was like, that's not gonna fit. It Whoever designed that for ULTUM like did an
Hmm.
awesome job with the fit and everything.
Nice.
Oh,
That's awesome.
the covers sit exactly where they should. They sit in these recessed air. It's just
It's made for people with OCD.
oh,
I like it.
I do. I love it. Love it. Love it. And I think Reefer NYC just set up a variation of it. Like maybe he has a bigger one.
Hmm.
Um, the sump is glued in, so I don't think if you're gonna set it up, you might not be able to use another sump. But with their sumps, you have the option of using filter socks and filter pad because where the water comes out, you can lay a filter pad or you can just let it go into filter socks. So everything was well thought out.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of those ULTUM reef systems, so
I'm skimming the
definitely
website
worth
now. They
checking
look
out.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Dun dun dun. That's the problem though. They can only fit so many tanks in one house.
Sorry,
I have 3 right now.
I,
I'm at my limit for now.
I can't go back to rimless again, man. I
Really?
know. After having this is glass cages and this has a Euro brace, and
Hmm.
not being able to worry about when you're like doing the magnet thing and um
I have tops on my tanks now, and with the polycarbonate, they have the little brim around the edge, so it's kind of like having a Euro brace.
I should. Funny enough, the ULTUM tank I was just showing you, it had one, and I like it. Um, I made a boo boo when I was setting up my kid's tank where I mounted the Apex controller board. It was getting a lot of salt creep, so I went to a glass maker and had them make a thin piece of glass, and I made like a single Euro brace for the back. And I
Hmm.
thought of why didn't you just make a Euro brace all around? Actually, Woody gave me the idea. Let me not say this is my idea. Woody was like, why didn't you just get them to cut you other pieces and you just make a Euro brace all the way around? And I was
Hmm.
like, you idiot, that's a good idea. You should have thought of that. So,
Yep.
um, yeah,
Yeah. I think I would probably do it on my next like bigger tank. Like if I ever
yeah,
have the space or opportunity to do something cool, like 8 foot by 3 foot or something like that, I think I'll do a Euro brace.
yeah. Euro brace, love it. Also the fact that you can just put things on it and just rest things when you're doing work, and I don't think it keeps water in. I haven't had anything jump out, so I don't know how. I've heard people say that helps.
It does
Um,
because they tend to go up the edges. Not always,
yeah,
but I have had fish jump, and sadly, that's what made me get more lids for my office tanks. Because I was like, well, there goes that guy, which sucks.
these guys are making fun of my Christmas tree, sitting there on the
Why?
8th of January.
Mine's still up too.
Um,
The lights are even on
well,
right now.
I think I typically don't take down all my Christmas decorations. So last year, I was having a conversation with like Paul and Woody on FaceTime, and they were like, "Dude, it's July. Why do you still have like the things hanging in your ceiling?" And I didn't realize that I had like the Christmas stuff. So I
It's
had like the
mood lighting.
stars and stuff. Yeah. So I love Eurobrace. Big fan of Eurobracing.
Mm.
I don't know if I can do rimless anymore.
I used to be against it, but the idea is growing on me because there's definitely benefits.
Yep. Big
Well,
fan. Big fan. Um, you next, or is it I'm next?
I don't have any ideas yet, so you go first, and I'll think of one.
All right. I like the so I'm gonna do live rock. Um, I have here that I think the Aqua Biomics did some live rock rubble.
Hmm.
But the one I personally I don't know anyone who used the Aqua Biomics live rock rubble. I don't know anyone personally who did it, but I personally got the Marco Rocks live rock. Um, when it first came out, it was like 115. I think the price has gone up, but it was $115 for like 10 pounds,
Hmm.
including the shipping. It was a ridiculously good deal. I used it. I know a couple of people, including James, not Jimmy, and a few other people who bought it. So it's basically Marco Rock that's put somewhere in the Keys for a couple of years to seed, and then they take it out and sell it and send it to you. It was shipped wet. Mine even got delayed in shipping an extra day, so I got it after 2 days. No smell, anything. So I, and yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
I just look at the Aquabiomics one, $60 out of
yeah.
stock.
I think they sell rubble,
They do.
but Marco Rocks actually give you rock pieces.
To be honest, though, you'd probably be better off just buying like live sand because it has more surface area if it's for the purpose of bacteria.
Yeah. If you're looking to make like a little scape, imagine you're looking to make a little scape for a nano tank. That's a great option.
Yeah, even honestly though, even a big tank, just because you would get there's more surface area on sand than there is on rock rubble. For if it's just for bacteria purposes, right? Like
Yeah.
adding diversity to your system.
I use it for the nano tank, and I think my nano was ready almost immediately. And
Nice.
they did a good job of sending me like I got a couple of Marco, like the absolute flat pieces on both sides. I got a few pieces of like the regular Marco where it's and then I got a couple of pieces of the one where where it's flat on one side and the other side is just regular rock. So
Yep.
I got
You're insta ready to roll then, basically, eh?
yeah.
That's a good place to be.
Yep.
It's
Definitely.
nice. It's nice to see that option starting to like come out again.
True. I wish I was in Florida where you could just probably drive down there and buy it.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah. I know.
Still not bad. You still have options. That's good.
Love it. Love it. See, are you ready or should I go again?
Give her.
Huh?
Give her. Oh, this is a tiny one, but Radions, the narrow lenses.
That came out this year?
I think so.
Uh,
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's older. I feel like it was this year. Well, this year meaning 2024, last year. A lot of people were like diehards for the G4 Radions. And I think a lot of it just because of the lenses. They gave a lot more punch and depth. Where the narrow lenses are similar to the G4 lenses. So it's a trade-off because when you get the 5 and 6 have crazy spread, which is great for your corals, but if your light's really high, that gives you a lot of light spill. Or if you have light spill, then that's... Yeah, you did the video this year, I'm pretty sure, Dev. Yeah, thank you, Travis. Yeah, so I put them on my tank mainly to get rid of light spill, and then I can also run my lights
Did
at
it
a
work?
lower percentage. Yeah, there's less light spill. I run my lights at a lower percentage. Yes, it's not as good for big acro colonies, but less light spill. Their lights are quieter because the fans don't have to run as much. They're cooler, and I can run a lower percentage. So
I think I ended up burning some stuff when I did it because I didn't realize.
that you upped your par like 30% because you didn't lower your
I
light.
didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lowered my schedule by 30% when I changed the lenses.
Yeah. I should have measured the par. I didn't realize so I burned a couple of things.
Should have watched my video.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Somebody said a cherub. I have a cherub angelfish in my 25 lagoon. He's beautiful, but I think it's time to get him out. Not that I see him causing problems, but when I got him, he was tiny. And in 6 months, he's now almost fully grown.
Mm-hmm.
I feed that tank heavy because there's a filter roller attached to it. So, it doesn't get high nut. I do like a 90% water change on that tank every month. And it also has a filter roller because I want to get as far without dosing as possible. So that thing, it gets fed. And I used to have a bunch of baby clownfish in it. So I fed them multiple times a day. Please, tank police, don't come for me. But I also got a tiny orange shoulder from my LFS. And I put him in there. No, he's gotten so big already. I was fooled into saying, they were like, no, he takes a long time to grow. No.
Define a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So no. Maybe it'll take a long time to get a foot, but he's already... I'm going to take them out. I'm going to take them out.
Well,
the cherub is not causing issues for me, but yeah, no.
Yeah, happens. Well, sounds like you got a little more tank space in the big tank.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna put him in the big tank,
Yeah.
the cherub angelfish, because I do like. Um, yeah, orange shoulders are gigantic fish, and I knew that. I knew that, but
They get big. But they're so cute when they're the size of a quarter.
they are.
Yeah, I know. Any other cool new gear that you've had,
Let me
loved,
see.
thought was really cool in the last year or so?
I have on my I saw this at Reefapalooza, and I know there's been a lot of talk about making reefing cheaper budget, but I did like IceCap has some new lines of flow pumps, right?
Hmm.
I don't know anyone who's used them, but I did see them at Reefapalooza, California when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, IceCap, I'm not sure what the name is, but I know IceCap makes some flow pumps that are, small and budget friendly. Um, and these things were tiny and cheap, man. And hang on a second, let me try and find them. Well,
The FP100 and FP60, those little guys?
yeah, FB60 was $80.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, for $80, you're not gonna get all the bells and whistles, but it's controllable pump and
Yeah.
it's small, Dev.
I
It
like
was
tiny.
it's so tiny, so tiny. Yeah, so if you're doing like one of those lagoon, like little, what do you call them, like peninsula, like the
Yeah.
e-shops acrylic tanks, this would fit on the back wall and you wouldn't see it.
Nice.
790 gallons per hour for 10 watts.
Perfect.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's all right. I like it.
I do. So again, we've been talking about reefing we need to get, so I thought that deserved a shout.
No,
um
options are good.
yep.
So,
um
Than's
go ahead.
talking about his giant filter rollers. What's your thoughts on filter rollers? Are they essential? Do you need them? Good investment?
Love it. I love them. I have the Red Sea one, which probably going to do a review on soon. Finally, um, I intend to switch to the Reef Factory eventually. Um, I like the Red Sea roll. I'm a fan of filter. I don't have anywhere to store filter socks or change filter socks. So yes, filter rollers, huge fan. Love
Yep.
them.
I definitely prefer them over socks. That being said, I still have socks on my Nios. I haven't bothered putting the filter roller on yet, but I have just the mesh socks that don't get clogged very quick. So they're more just to catch the big stuff.
The one that fan is talking about, I think it's an MRC unit.
Probably.
My LFS has one. He loves it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I think he has the model. He has it on his fish system. He has the model where I don't know how much of the water. Half the water goes to the filter roll, and the other half goes to 7-inch filter socks. And it has a skimmer, a protein skimmer, huge protein skimmer integrated.
Crazy.
I think he's had that unit running for 2 years now. And I think when he got it, he got 2 extra rolls. And I don't think he's had to order new rolls yet.
Oh, wow.
So
That's all right.
I think, fan, depending on how much waste you put through it, those things last a long time.
That's a good place to be.
They last a long time. A long time.
Well, that makes it cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not cheap, but that's always one of the things I look at is like, what's the ongoing cost, right? Like, how much are you paying every month or two for rolls or whatnot? But if you're changing
I
it
don't
once a year, you probably don't care.
I don't think that's discussed. I think you brought up a good point. I don't think that's discussed enough when we buy things. Um, when we buy alkalinity testers, when we buy these auto testers, I don't think the ongoing costs. A lot of times remember when we had the auto testers and people were like, the Trident is cheaper. I know they do different things, and someone would say the Alcatronic was $800, is $200 cheaper, but I don't think someone realized that the ongoing cost of operating a Alcatronic at the time was, cheaper.
Oh, that's half the thing that sold me on it because it was so cheap for reagent. But yeah, no, I do agree.
Yeah. Dan said literally think the best implementation is to pump water to it rather than have overfill boxes sending. So yeah, I think what my LFS does, he has like a fish wall, a huge fish wall. I think half of the tanks, the top half of the tanks go to the filter roll, and the bottom goes to the 7-inch filter socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um.
What?
Yeah, but it's an entire like. Let me just guess. It's probably 50, 60 feet of fish tanks in a fish store that's going through it. So
This is probably going to have to be a topic for another live stream, but I always debate if we're filtering, with all like, the skimmers and filter rollers and stuff, like, are we stripping too much out of the water? Like,
yep.
yes, it looks freaking amazing to have crystal clear, pristine water,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
is it a detriment to the corals at all not having the little bits of particulate food in the water?
Absolutely. But I try to feed. I try to overcompensate by feeding
Mm-hmm.
a lot more, and that's why I have 2 auto feeders that feeds really fine food, and then one. So I, I I'm of the opinion that I think yes.
Yeah. So partially one of the reasons I haven't put my filter roller on the Nios yet is because I'm starting to turn it into like a very gawny heavy tank. And I was like, I don't think I want this tank to be too pristine because I think
No.
they appreciate a little more nutrients and a little more food in the water.
If you know what it would have been perfect if you had the what's the name with the bypass. The Reef Factory has a bypass. Love the Reef Factory. When I was setting up the Reef Factory, I got the small unit. It comes with a bypass. Remember you had
Like
like a mini
the
bypass. Yes,
you're bitter
has a
that
bypass.
the version 3 of the Claire Seed lost the bypass, aren't you?
Last the bypass.
Yep.
So it has a bypass. So Woody's asking me, how are you finding the Reef Factory filter roll? Love it so far. There was an issue with it, but
Wait,
it's not
you've had the Claire C, the Red C, now you have a Reef
all of
Factory.
them.
You're definitely beating me on the filter roller spectrum.
I gotta say, so out of the ones you say, I have to say the Clarice is at the bottom now because there's no smart features.
Fair.
I like the Red Sea. I like the Red Sea. The Red Sea is at 1 because I've found a way. There's someone I know who can sell me aftermarket filter rolls for $10 each. The Red Sea filter roll is really, it's the most expensive filter roll and it goes fast. If you buy it from them, it's $30. And I think it gets used pretty quickly. I can buy from a guy, I'm not going to give his name because who I got it from, he just put it in the description of his video, but I can tell him, give me 80 microns, 50 microns, 20 microns, so you can order your micron size. Now, the roll is pretty thin compared to, right? It might be thinner, so I think there's a balance. I think I don't go with the 80. I think the 50 micron is a good size for me because it gets clogged to, not clogged and easy to snag. But I do like it, and I got giant hands, and it's easy for me to put my hands in it, and like I don't have to do the thing where you tape it on the end of the other roll, Dev, because
yeah, that is a nice feature. I do agree. That was the only complaint with the Claire C.
I can stick my hand in it.
I use a stapler and just yank it through, which isn't bad. But before I learned that trick, it was a pain in the butt.
The other thing about the Red Sea unit, which it also gets high marks for me, user replaceable parts. So I broke a gearbox. I broke a few other parts, and you can actually go to like saltwater aquarium and buy. They call them like gear replacement kit or something, and where it gives you the extra screws, the extra grommets. You can buy the extra motor. So my motor died after 2 years. I bought a replacement motor, and when I bought the replacement motor kit, it also came with gears, which I ended up replacing some of my gear. So the fact is, the Red Sea unit, you can actually buy replacement parts. So, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Like I'm not the handiest person. So I like that. User replaceable parts with the Red Sea. I love it. You can buy the optical sensor. There was a point, remember when BRS was having those fire sales? There was a point when I was telling someone, I was like, you can probably build your own Red Sea filter roller by buying
all the parts,
just the different parts from BRS when they had them on clearance. That would have been hilarious.
You should have. That would have been fun.
I should. The Reef Factory now, it's 1B for me. It's thinner, but you don't have to stick your hands in it because it comes with like some like you just put the roll here, and then it comes with something that you use to just stick it down.
Handy.
So I the one complaint I have about the refactory, when I installed it in my kid's tank, it was bumping against the wall and the motor kept spitting. And I remember after a couple hours, I went back to the app and it said, you used 50 feet of roll. I was like, no, I didn't. So it turns out the button on the motor was pressed. So I was a little disappointed that it didn't, like the Red Sea, if you keep your hand on the forward,
Yeah.
it stops after a while.
Huh.
It stops after 10 seconds and you have to stop and press it again. So if I want to wind up a significant amount of roll, so I think that's something that they can fix in software, right? Where it sends you an alert and stop.
Probably.
Yeah, so I think that's something correct. But right now, because the Clarity doesn't have any smart features, I'm sorry, it moved third on my list.
So what is the smart features that is like mainly useful for you?
Tells you, it alerts you when you're almost finished.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the Red Sea will say, hey, you got 3 days of roll left. Or it starts, you can set, so it
That's
says,
nice to
hey,
have.
you're at 7 days out.
Yeah.
Or there's a way to optimize. So when I first got it, I was, for instance, if you're working and you know you're on calls between 5 and 10, you can tell it not to roll between 5 and 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can tell it how much to roll. So you can actually um, tell it to do 3 inches, an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, which it's going to go more. I found that my perfect balance was 3/4 of an inch, where my roll was really dirty.
Yep.
Because when I first started, I think I did 1.5 inches, and there were parts of my roll that would come out clean, like it didn't get enough saturation. But when I did 3/4 of an inch, also my nutrients bottomed out, and I thought the filter roller was part of it. So I like that with the Red Sea and the Reef, the Refactory.
It's kind of cool.
You can
You could
optimize
tweak it. That's fair.
Yeah. So you can also, if you turn up your flow, you can say, oh, I'm using more. I know you guys are not going to be able to see this, but so for instance, my daily average for I'm using, by the way, I think I told you to get the powder blue out, I disassembled my rock. I had a canister, a container with sand in for my Melanaris wrasse. I spilled it, so there's sand everywhere. So I think it's getting caught up in the power head. So I think I'm using extra rolls than I would. So I use 32. You won't be able to see this, but I use 32 inches today, and I average 2 feet. I know that's terrible. I don't know why I thought, but anyway, you just get information about how to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fancy smart features.
All right, so if you're going on vacation, you can like, how much roll do I have left?
Will it last me? You can make educated decisions.
So today, thank you, Refactory, for doing your thing in meters. I don't know what that means, but hey, now I have to go to Google to do conversion. But today I use 0.18 meters of roll.
Perfect.
I don't know what that means. Thanks.
3 feet to a meter, buddy.
It's not that, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not pretty much. It's either that's what it is or it's not.
It is. Or give or take like an inch, like here.
You can't say that.
1 meter is 3.2 feet. I was off.
See?
12 inches is 30 centimeters.
So I used 7 inches today. Can I really? I guess I used 7 inches of rolls today. There you go.
There you go.
25-gallon tank is using 7 inches of roll. That roll is supposed to last me forever.
We'll find out.
Someone said you got to cover your face so the camera doesn't pick it up. No, that didn't work. There you go.
What model is your camera?
A67.
There is a feature if it has it called product showcase mode. If you have that turned on, then it will focus on stuff when you hold it up.
Can you actually change
Like
the
we go,
camera? Oh,
see?
there you go.
Yeah, I have it
No,
turned
that's a
on
different
mine.
camera.
So if I show stuff
Oh,
off.
there you go. Oh, that's a different camera. There you
Okay,
go.
there you go. Yeah,
And
so
then let me go back to the Red Sea one so you can see. Oh, this is cool. See, I'm getting fancy hanging out with you.
yeah,
Even
man.
though it's backwards. It's backwards, right? Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine for us.
Oh, so it's backwards to me. Okay, there you
Just
go.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
All right. So I can go back to my
Now
Oh!
you just got to balance your ISO a little bit so they look the same. You can cut between them. You'll extra fancy. I know, right? Good stuff.
All right.
Any other cool gear on the roster for the past year for you?
I have two things by Hydros. I have the Hydros Soul and the Hydros Launch.
Is
So
the
the
Soul the
Soul is
single pump?
the Soul is the single pump. Hydro Soul is the single pump, the continuous duty pump, and the Hydros Launch, which I haven't used this. I've just seen it at the shows. I don't think I know anyone who has it, but when I was reading up on it in preparation for this stream, I realized what a device this is. It has a single controller, 4 plugs, pH port, salinity port, 4 drive port, and 4 sense ports, and a 0 to 10. Solid. I knew it existed. So when you buy it, I guess for $550 is the retail price on it. You actually get a temp probe, a pH probe with it, and some calibration. But one thing I like about the sensors, they're really cheap for Hydros, but yeah, man, I couldn't believe how much of a bargain that device was.
Yeah, that's all right.
So
nice.
Yeah, I do. I like it. That's on my list. I got an honorable mention. Again, when I was researching, it's not a new product, but when I was doing some research, I realized that Tunze made upgrades to a lot of their pumps now. So I like Tunze pumps.
Very good one, actually.
I like Tunze. Like I think I've other than the new Eco pump, I've owned every pump. And again, with a select few, I think looking at Tunze's product lineup, I've owned everything Tunze has made. Down to the rock.
New ATO pump, hands down, massive improvement over the old one.
Oh, that thing is nice.
So much better. I replaced all mine.
And I used to use it. I bought Tunze will almost always get my business because I call Roger and I was like, Roger, I got one of these. I want to use it to do this. He told me what voltage plug to buy, what to do, and I was able to hook it up. I used it to feed I took my calcium reactor off now, but I used it to feed my calcium reactor. You can use it as the new Tunze pumps. You can use it as a continuous duty pump. I got my hands on one of the new, the Osmolator 3s.
Oh, how do you like it? That's the super tiny one?
I haven't had to mess with it. So I had no qualms about trying it because I have a bag of osmollators, one that's more than 10 years old. I've sent that thing to Roger and he's fixed it for me. I think one time he charged me $25 to replace the optical sensor, right? So I have a Tunze osmolator that's over 10 years old. Those things don't fail me. I had a ATK and the ATK wasn't failing, but where it is, it's that same kid's Lagoon 25. I think having the big float valve was not working in the small space, and I just have personal thoughts is that's one of the best features of that device is the float valve. So if you're not going to use it with the float valve, it doesn't make sense to use it, right? Because to me, that's one of the best features of it, the backup with the float valve.
So the 3, don't they use like a temperature sensor or something like that, or some kind of a second sensor?
For what? Oh, no, I'm talking about I'm giving you the story. So I took the ATK off, this Neptune ATK, and put that thing in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear a beep, anything. Sometimes I look down and I see the light. Where I see the light is green means everything is good. And then one time I heard it pumping and I look and I saw that the light was red or whatever. It means it's dev. I installed it and I haven't heard a beep. I was always scared to put an osmolator in my kid's room because the old version was noisy.
You can turn off the beep. I did that. There's a jumper inside the box.
You can open it. You can even turn up the pump. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I installed it and it just sat there. Do you also know that I don't think it's available in the US yet, but you can get an extension cable because I think it comes with like 4 meters between the pump and to attach it to the sensor. You can get an extension cable where you can actually make it like 10 meters or whatever away. You could have the pump 10 meters away.
How far is it?
I think it comes with. Hold on, I'll tell you.
So, I may have ordered one the other day. I was debating if I replace one of my 3152s or not.
The Osmolator 3 works, and then again, it's not available in the US. Let me see the amount of cord it has. Excuse me. The tube in length is 3 meters. The tubing length is 3 meters. Then you can buy another 3-meter extension cable for $36. It's not available in the US. So 3 meters is what? 3 meters is almost 10 feet. So between the 3 meters it comes with, and you can get an extension 3 meters, dude, that's 20 feet. You can have the ATO
anywhere.
So it's in my kids' room. So what I do is I have a 10-gallon tank under their bed, way away from the tank, and then I snake the cord along the wall. Love it.
Nice. So what you're saying is I should upgrade to it for fun?
You should. That's not what I was going to actually give Tunze the thing for. Tunze, for a lot of their pumps, have updated the controller boxes. They now have these wide controller boxes. Have you noticed that?
No.
I don't think BRS Tunze.
I honestly haven't used Tunze flow pumps in a long time, but their auto top-offs are great. I'm a bit of a sucker for no cords in the tank, so I tend to gravitate to the MPs.
So the Tunze, it's called I think I'm gonna put the thing in the chat here. I'm gonna put the link in the chat.
But yeah, no, I laughed because I actually ordered my buddy needed an ATO and I ordered an osmolator, and I was like, do I use the new one for myself or do I give it to him or do I just give him mine and like steal the new one? So
look at the link I just posted. They have these new box now, which I think makes them. I haven't had gotten my hands on this, but one of the things I kind of hated, not hated, that's a strong word, but one of the things that could have been improved was the control box. And now look at the new one. I think it also connects to the cloud or syncs. So yeah, I love the fact that they're upgrading their I don't think the 6095 is the 6095 is getting a new control box. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. I've been using Tunze products so long. This is the 3rd iteration of control. I remember when you had to change the jumpers on the power. You remember when you had to change the jumpers on the power supply with the different voltage and you can change the strength?
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
Yep.
I went from that to the control box to now a different control box. That's how long I've been using Tunze products.
Solid.
Yeah. So they get a mention for that, for just the innovation, because I really want to get my hands on one. But yeah, I love my Osmolator 3. I love the new pumps.
Mm-hmm.
I use them. I buy the version. So what you should do is, I wish I had it beside me, but you get the version with the split wire.
Yep.
That is used to replace your regular osmolator pump, and then you can see, if you have a Tunze osmolator power supply, you just strip the power supply and you're handy, and that's what you need. If you have it's easy if you already have a osmolator power supply. Just it's a 12-volt whatever, and it works.
I'm
And
handy.
you have the thing that you use to like connect wires and then melt the thing down with heat.
Soldering
So
iron.
yeah.
You know what's funny today? I was in somewhere today and one of their things wasn't working, and I looked at it. It's like an Ethernet adapter. And I was like, oh, someone pulled the wire and it was like frayed. I was like, oh, you have a soldering iron here. I popped it apart and just like resoldered the wires. I'm like, there you go, all fixed.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I always have Tunze Wave Makers 6095s.
Nice.
I think that's my favorite pump.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pumps. 6095s. I have about 4 of them somewhere. But yeah, like Tunze for the control boxes.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. And then just some other things. I have the Brightwell Ignite, which is a new Brightwell amino acids. I think it's a Brightwell amino acids. I haven't personally used it, but I called around. It's called Polyp Ignite.
Has it been good?
From what I've heard about it, yes, people like it. I personally haven't used it.
Okay.
When it came out, it wasn't the time, I had some family stuff going on, so it wasn't the time I was paying attention to the tank. So, but yeah, I've been hearing good things about it, but it's one of the few products on the list that I haven't used myself.
Okay. I have not used that one yet either. And I can't find those extension cables in Canada, so it might be a DIY.
They're not. I've only found them on the Tunze.com store. I haven't.
Aquacave, wherever they are, has them for like $21, which is totally reasonable.
You can reach out. You know what? This is a great
Illinois.
You should Illinois. You should call Roger,
and
then at the next show.
Yeah.
And that way,
But it'll be here next week. I can't wait that long. Not that patient. Come on now. Or realistically, if you figure
from Aquacave ships to Canada.
I don't know. I just found it on their website. I was just Googling it.
Maybe we shouldn't say this stuff out loud,
It'll be sold out. But realistically, if you know what the connector is, you could just make one too very easily.
Mm-hmm. So Greg is giving the mouth of his corals, and Polyp Ignite and Coral Inertia work well. Phil's been using it for a few months. So
this is another good question. There's a lot of different brands of amino acids out there. Do you think, or have you noticed any big difference between using different brands or different ones?
I like the Coral Amino.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I like the Coral, I don't know. I think the lazy man's version, or the easiest version for me, is the Two Little Fishies, because you can put it on a dosing pump and you're more consistent with it. However, I've learned from my Zeovit days. I thought my dog was doing something. I've learned from my Zeovit days that it's kind of good when you're there, when you dose some things to your tank, because it kind of forces you to look at it every day. So I don't know if it's Brightwell's Coral Amino, if it's better, or the fact that the way it's dosed, I'm always interacting with the tank. I'm in front of the tank, but the one that I'm using now is the Brightwell Coral Amino.
Okay. Nice. I've used many different ones, and I've always been like debated if there's like a big difference to say, like, yes, this one's better than this one. It's always hard to judge that, so I'm always curious to hear other people's thoughts on it.
Yeah. There is a couple of products that I thought would make a couple of things that I'm waiting on that weren't released in 2024, so I didn't make the list. The Panta Ray Wave Box. I'm calling it the Wave Box, but the Panta Ray Surge. I don't think it was officially released in 2024 because I don't know anyone who bought them or who has them. But the Panta Ray Surge, really excited to get my hands on it. I hear Joe Caparetta from Unique Corals is going to be getting them soon. And I know I am definitely in front of the list, in front of Greg on the list, because I think they do it by tallest first. So in that case, I'm definitely ahead of him. So I'm on the list.
You're set?
Yeah. Tallest first. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel short beside you. I'm tall, and I feel short beside
like
you.
6'2".
Not that I know, but I feel short beside you.
Dude.
It's true.
Nah, man. I'm normal. I'm a normal guy.
Fair enough.
Did we freeze?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you do, Devin?
I don't know. We'll see if the live stream makes it or not. Dun dun dun. A lovely frame to freeze on. There we go. We're back.
Oh, there you go. It didn't show up. Salt creep. So you know what? Yes. By the way my Panta, just funny anecdote. The way my Panta Ray is so powerful now, I get so much salt creep anyway. Because if I didn't have a Euro brace, I'd be pushing so much water out the tank. So there you go. I think the demos are a little misleading in my opinion because the water is supposed to be under the tank. I think they put the demos above tank so they can see where the water is going, but I don't think it's. Greg is saying it didn't show up in the last shipment, so I guess I'm still ahead of Greg on the list. So it seems like Greg is getting some inside information from Joe, which I'm really upset about. But you know, that's a story for another time. But might be fan, but I'm interested in trying. If it doesn't work out, I'll just turn the power heads back to the way they were and we just keep it moving.
There you go. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So I think I exhausted my list. The Amino, UNS, Brightwell Ignite, Marco Rocks, Live Rock. I got the Trident, Hydro Soul, the Alcatronic Pro. I have the Natura Icon as something that was released. This is the Orphic, but I got some people telling me it's nice, but the only people who are selling it are Orphic and Amazon. I can't find any one of the typical Reef. I had a few people who insisted I put it on my list, so I put it in the honorable mention section. But I'm just gonna say, when you search for it, and only Amazon and Orphic themselves are selling it. So I don't know how. Right? I don't know how. It's gonna stay in the honorable mention because of someone's insistence for me. But again, I don't know if any one of the typical retailers in our industry, the BRSs, saltwater aquariums, the aqua caves, the marine and reef, the Champion Lighting and Supply, none of them are selling it. None of them are me to, squint when I'm looking at it. Just squint a little bit. But
that's fair. I've only ever seen a couple of them out in the wild, to be honest. I know they have their niche fan club, but
you're talking about the
Orphics in
they
general.
do have. Yeah, they do. They do have people who love them.
Yep, but I've never personally used them, so I can't really comment.
Did the chat freeze? Because I think Greg is the last one.
Yeah, I don't know. My computer's being a bit flaky right now, so I think it's about time to wrap her up.
All right. All right. Listen, it was fun. Can you guys hear us?
Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully. Well, either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's live stream with the one and only Reefing with O. Can you hear us? Yep. So yeah, I don't know.
Always fun.
It was a good one.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And yep, you can still hear us. All right. I know it's a bit choppy. I think my computer's
All right.
working
You
hard.
you finally overloaded it.
I'm cooking right now, so it's probably
All right.
overheating the room. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, hit that like button. You're new, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out the Reefing with O.
Yes.
I
Yes,
know.
he's going to be doing videos. He said he is, so he will.
I keep hearing this.
All right, no,
2025
no,
is
no.
the
It's gonna
year.
happen. 2025 is the year. I'm gonna not aim for Hollywood production and aim for like
Raw,
cell
uncut.
phone. I
Perfect.
think, I think, I think somebody already has that in our industry. I think Saltwater, Mr. Saltwater Tank does that already. Where we call it RUF. So I'm gonna call it something else.
Oh, uncut.
Maybe I'll just.
It's not bad, actually.
I updated my iPhone today, so it has a whole bunch of AI generation. So maybe I'll just do some. That seems to be the hot thing now. People with AI. So hey, maybe I'll just go.
Oh, uncut. That's what you should call it. Just saying.
All
It's
right.
good. All right, guys. Have
All
a
right.
good night.
Take care, guys.